And here we go, Tanner. Thank you for doing this. Where are you located, and how do you introduce yourself to people?
Hey, first off, thanks for having me on, Robert. I am located in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and I introduce myself as Tanner Shuck. That's who I am.
And then what do you do? Because you're an influencer. You're a very successful influencer, which I want to congratulate you on your success, everything you've done. Uh, how did you become an influencer? What type of influencer are you for the listeners that are listening to this podcast?
Well, I wouldn't. Funny you say that. I wouldn't refer to myself as an influencer. Um, Maybe eventually I will. I don't know. Uh, I'd call myself a trainer. All right, and someone that's extremely passionate about health and fitness. And basically, I've spent my entire life in a gym training myself and people, like easily over 10,000 hours, both training myself and other people. So I've kind of done everything there is to do inside a gym. And now I've kind of reached the point where I want to have a positive impact on the world. And the best way to do that is to kind of build a following on social media,
Yeah.
especially in today's day and age. So my goal is just to reach as many people as possible and to help as many people as possible by, showing them, how to actually train effectively, eat healthy, and how simple it actually is.
I want to talk about your approach. You do a what do you call it? Reverse psychology type status.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's not the food's fault, or it is the food's fault. It's not your fault at all. And how how did you come up with that system? And what's the feedback you get from it? Is it very welcoming, or do you still get the hey, that's fucked up? Like.
No, it's
And when did you start that?
I think I've had this I've thought this way for many years. Um and I basically probably I've evolved a lot just in the past 2 years, 2.5 years when I started working for myself. And my following on social media has increased, and the quality of my content and the effort and production of my content has all gotten better over these past 2 years. And I take a extremely serious or an extremely sarcastic approach with a lot of my content because, dude, there's millions of fitness influencers or trainers on social media, and we're all saying the same thing. Everyone's saying the same thing, but so it really goes in, most people's ear and right out the other. And I just know that if I want my content to resonate with people, you need to be brutally honest, and you need to kind of say it in a way that no one else is saying it. And so I do use kind of a reverse psychology way, and not in every piece of content I make, but in quite a few of them. And it gets people to like, what is this guy saying? And then it gets people to think about actually their behavior and what they're doing, and it just resonates with people more. And that's how I think in my head. I kind of think, not that I'm a negative person, because I'm actually an extremely positive person, but I use a lot of, I guess, negative energy or negative emotion to reach people because it actually makes them think about what they're doing, and it makes them think about their behavior, and hopefully, it encourages them to make a positive change in their life. And so that's why I take that approach in some of my content. Not all content, but some of my content I certainly do.
No, no, I love it. It's very catching because like I ran into you. I was looking at a post and it's like you were blaming meat for being fat, and they're like, if you're eating meat, you're gonna be fat. And I'm like, what? And then you got into it, and it's obviously that's not what you meant. You were being very sarcastic, and that's
Yeah.
what captured me because otherwise it's just a bunch of people saying eat this, don't eat that. It's
Yeah.
like all right, I already know that. I already know
Yeah.
that. But
Exactly.
that
Well, it's just
challenging of going backwards, it's like, fuck, wait a minute, am I missing something? What's going on with meat now? Because information changes all the time. You're like, is
yeah.
there what kind of bullshit's happening now? And it's just Tanner being
Well, there's a
sarcastic.
lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit happening, and it's preposterous. And so that's why I make content that I want it to trigger people, and I want it to like kind of infuriate people, but it also I want it to help people and make them realize like how much nonsense that there is going on, and how simple it really is. How simple it is to actually be healthy. How simple it is to train effectively. It's not, it's not complicated, but for whatever reason, there's a lot of fitness people out there that are making, training and nutrition as overcomplicated and convoluted as possible so they can profit off, people like you, and your ignorance, because I live health and fitness. I'm sure a guy like you probably don't. It's obviously probably a hobby or it's something that you do because you need to do it and to be healthy. But your mind's probably focused on a lot other things, throughout your day rather than just working out. Whereas mine, I think about exercise and training all day, every day.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I just got into the fitness train December last year.
Well,
And this
good,
is
man. I'm
yeah,
happy for you.
thank you, man. And this is the first time where I'm like, this is the first time actually in my life that I'm actually, 5, 6 days a week. Before it was like random, or if somebody was like, "Hey, Rob, come on, let's go to the gym," and I was like, "All right," but I wasn't disciplined. And
Right.
now it's like, oh shit, man, I need this. And it's mind blowing because you go into a gym now and you're like, holy shit, that fit dude is working out every day. Holy shit, that skinny Asian dude or the skinny American dude, they're working out every day. And this person's working out to lose weight. And it's like, oh my God, we all need this. And it wasn't introduced to me that way. And now I'm like, wow, like it's mind blowing, And one thing that's helped me, I won't talk about whose app it is, but I found an app that just shows you how to do the exercises and when to do the exercises, and it just kind of builds you up. And that app really gave me perspective because it has videos of how to do certain exercises, and I was like, dude, this helped. And
Yeah.
then obviously I did get a trainer, for a month or two to also guide me,
Yeah.
which
That's good.
also which also helps. But then the food thing's a mess, man, because there's keto, there's paleo, there's vegetarian, there's vegan, there's just so
Yeah.
much bullshit.
Yeah. And it's difficult for people like you that may not know any better to kind of sift through all that bullshit. And
Yeah,
so when in reality, nutrition is actually incredibly simple. It's incredibly simple.
you've
It
broken
just
that
kind of depends
down.
on what your goals are.
Yeah, you've broken that down. I mean, like let's say everybody's trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
What's your advice of losing weight when it comes to meals?
All right. The easiest thing to do, and this is obviously going to sound it's going to be very obvious.
Yeah, yeah,
If you want to lose weight, the first thing to do is eat less food, or just eat less food, be in a calorie deficit. However, losing weight is easy. I can tell anyone just to quit eating food, or quit not eating so much, and they'll lose weight. But the goal should never be to actually just lose weight. Your goal should be to lose body fat. You want to lose the bad weight. You want to keep on the good weight. Good weight is lean body tissue, muscle. Okay. So, and you want to maintain your muscle on your body as long as possible forever. Okay.
yeah,
Muscle is directly correlated with your life expectancy, and it's the largest organ in your body, and you want to maintain lean body mass as you age forever, as long as you can. Obviously we all will die, but your quality of life and how long you live is directly correlated to how strong you are and how much muscle mass you have, because the more muscle mass you have on your body, the easier and more likely it is you'll be to continue moving as you age. Because when people die, man, they just stop moving. They just kind
yeah.
of sink down, become decrepit, and when you stop moving, that's when disease sets in. So I kind of went off on a tangent there, but
No, no, but
literally the best thing to do is just eat the right kind of foods and just maintain your lean body mass. Okay, so the best thing people can do is find out what their maintenance calories is, or that's also known as your total daily energy expenditure. That's how many calories your body burns in a day, including all your daily activity, your exercise, your non-exercise activity, sleeping, digesting food, all that kind of stuff. It's very simple. There's a formula called the Hatch-McArdle formula, and it's actually quite accurate. And you can learn it you can just Google it. It's very simple. So learn your maintenance calories, and then what you want to do is eat according to your goals. If your goal is to lose weight, obviously you need to be eating in a calorie deficit. So say your maintenance calories are 2,500 calories a day, but you want to lose weight, so you need to be eating less than 2,500 calories a day. Ideally, probably somewhere between 2,200 and 2,000 calories. That's very normal for a lot of people. And so 2,000 to 2,200 calories a day is actually quite a bit of food. You just can't eat mindlessly, which is what most people do. And then you want to make sure the quality of those 2,000 calories is the best quality calories you can give your body. So calories are what matters most. And the second most important thing is the quality of those calories. So that's kind of how I would start with someone that's completely oblivious and has no idea, anything about nutrition. So that's where I'd start with them. Learn your maintenance calories and then eat according to your goals.
So no, and then you're talking quality of food. Obviously, you're talking about rich foods, meats, yogurts, milks, eggs, whole foods. No,
Yeah.
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 How do
Go
you
ahead.
since you're in Dubai and I'm interested in this, uh, you obviously been in America, or you're from America, and you
Yeah.
see the access of food that we have here, how easy it is to fall into a spiral. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because
Sure.
once you get into Whole Foods, you kind of start realizing how much junk you were eating. You're like, "Fuck, man! Like, why was I eating that much?" Because it's
Dude,
addicting. It's sugar. It's super addicting, and the
yeah.
and the
Dude,
cravings.
processed foods, packaged foods are chemically designed and enhanced to be hyper palatable to so people will continue eating them, and those foods, they throw off your body's natural satiety mechanisms, so you don't feel full, so you'll continue eating more and more, so you'll buy more and more. Like, dude, the food industry is an evil industry. They're evil. They're all for profit, man. They're not for health. They're not for helping you. So the best thing people can do is to cut out all the shit in their diet. Like, avoid processed and packaged foods like the plague. That's what I try and do. I mean, again, not all processed and packaged foods are bad, but if you can get a natural food, like a meat, a vegetable, a fruit, and eat that instead, you'll be so much better off. So much better off.
How's the food compared to U.S. and Dubai?
The food quality here is fine. It's good. I like it. I have no issues with the quality of food. Obviously, you don't have the selection that you have in the United States. You can literally get whatever you want in the U.S. You're a bit more limited here, but because I eat really just few certain foods, I can get everything I need here, and it's good. The quality's good. The United Arab Emirates, it's definitely a first world country, very developed. A lot of wealth here, so the quality of life in Dubai or the UAE is great, and I like living here. I've lived here for almost 10 years, so
10 years. Wow.
9 years. 9 years. It'll
Yeah,
be 10
still,
next
that's
year. But
amazing.
yeah,
That's
yeah, it's
amazing.
it's treated me well.
Yeah, I was there in 2000. I went a few times. I've been to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. How
Yeah,
how is the fitness train out there? Are people very active? Is this,
yeah. So that's fitness is what brought me out to Dubai, and the fitness scene or the fitness industry here is quite strong. At least in Dubai, I can't speak for like the other Emirates of the United Arab Emirates. I imagine the fitness scene in Abu Dhabi it's quite strong as
yeah.
well. But the other Emirates, they're much less developed. So where I am in Dubai, there's a lot. It's a strong fitness scene. A lot of healthy people. People are exercising, working out all the time. There's a lot of big name fitness influencers that call Dubai home. So the fitness industry here, it's alive and well.
And then, may I ask what you do exactly in Dubai? Are you a trainer? Do you work for a company? Are you?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I work for myself, so but I still am a trainer. I do some in person training still, just by choice. I've had a few longtime clients that have been with me for years that I just really kind of enjoy training, and I've developed very strong relationships with them, and they are able to train around my schedule. So I'm in the gym anyway, training myself. So I do all my in person training around my workouts, and then the rest of my time I spend kind of doing online training or creating content, and trying to, again, build a following on social media just to make a bigger impact. So I'd say I'm probably like 60% kind of an online trainer, and create content, and then probably 40% maybe in person, maybe a little less. It's,
How how
but I work for myself.
how does the online trainer how does that work? Like,
Well, dude, it's funny you ask, man. There's a lot of different approaches to that. And I've been outspoken against a lot of online trainers these days, especially since COVID, hit in 2020. a lot of online trainers have taken an approach of just becoming salesmen and, gimmicky salesmen and just conning people into buying, 90-day, 12-week transformations and basically selling people, taking advantage of people's ignorance, and charging people thousands of dollars for literally the most basic and fundamental health and fitness advice. And it's in my opinion, it's immoral. And a lot of online coaches, I think, are scumbags. I definitely don't take that approach. So I am an online coach myself. So I'm not like talking bad about all online coaches. They're not all bad, but you just have to watch out for the ones that are just they're worse than used car salesmen. They're not really out to help people. They're really just out to sell people and take advantage of them and pad their own pockets. That's a tangent I went off on, so I apologize. But being an online coach for me, it's great. I like it, especially if you can build a following and you can have kind of a low ticket offer per se. So I make money by selling programs, monthly subscription programs, training programs that anyone can try. You can try it for 7 days for free as a free trial. And then if you like the program, if you like the way I design workouts, you can subscribe to that program. And so if you obviously get enough people following your programs, you can make a living.
But what's that program consist of? Are you advising people on X amount of days per week? Are you checking in with them on their food progress?
These are good questions. So I do both. And so there's kind of customized online coaching, which I have a few clients on, and I'm trying to get out of that, honestly, because it is very time consuming. And if you do a good job on that, which you should, if you're taking someone's money, you should definitely do a good job for them. You got to check in with them week to week, see how their eating is, see how their training's been. You need to write their workouts, for the following week based off of what they did on their workouts the previous week. And so that is quite, it's customized and it's a bit tedious, and you charge a premium for that, so it can be good. But it is time consuming. I also have a program that really anyone could follow, anyone could subscribe to. Like, you could take my program, you could get a free week on it, and you could pay $50 a month for it. And that program, anyone can follow it. It's written or designed in a way that it can be done by anyone. And there's, modifications or scaling levels to that program based on your ability level. So I do both. So you kind of have kind of a higher end product and, kind of a lower end product, if that makes sense.
And where do you find this program? Do you have a website?
Are you still there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I wanted to get your website, so I wanted to put you on the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem.
Man. Yeah, so do you have a website? How do people find you? How do people get in touch with you? And where can they find this program? Yeah, how can people find you? How can they find this program? And how do people get a hold of you?
I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me, I guess, plug my own programs.
Of course.
I'd say the best way to find me right now is actually on YouTube. I've been working really hard for like about 7 or 8 months to build a following on YouTube. And that's where literally all my best content is actually on YouTube. I have long form videos and YouTube short videos. And I'm teaching everyone everything I know about training and nutrition. It's all for free. It's all on YouTube. So you can look me up on YouTube, Tanner Shuck. And if you want to go directly to my website, that is truestrength.co, www.truestrength.co.
That's awesome. And again, congratulations on your success on YouTube. You're over 60,000 followers.
Yeah, I'm around 51,000 subscribers. So it's
not easy.
I was at like, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 in March of this year. And then it's grown a lot, but I'm putting most of my energy and effort on YouTube now, because that's where I feel like that I can have the biggest impact. I'm on Instagram as well. And I was on Instagram for a long time, and that's where all my energy was. But I've kind of realized Instagram and TikTok, those aren't, I guess they're not the best platforms in my opinion, as an educator or a trainer to actually reach and help people. And the way YouTube works, it's just it's a superior platform. You can monetize it, you can actually get paid for it. And the way the algorithm works, it's a search-based algorithm. So if someone's searching on how to get stronger or lose weight or what are the best foods, they can type that in and then my video will pop up. Whereas with Instagram or TikTok, if you make a post, 5 days later, everyone's already forgotten about it. No one knows. And it's basically, you're kind of just throwing all your content in a black hole with Instagram or TikTok. So
I never
I
thought
put
about it
most of
that
my
way.
effort. What's that?
I never thought about it that way. That's very valid.
No, dude, it's extremely valid because believe me, I've done a lot of research on social media and how things work, and you'll discover basically all the best content creators, they're on YouTube. Like the most legitimate, real content creators, they're all YouTubers. Like Instagram and TikTok, those are, and I'm no offense to anyone, I hope no one's getting offended on this. Those are kind of like lower tier quality platforms for creators for social media. I mean, they're great platforms, but if you're actually serious about your craft and you want to be a serious creator and make an impact or help people with your content or reach people with your content, YouTube is superior.
How much do you how much do you really care about hurting anybody's feelings when you're telling truths or offending people? Do you like, is there a party like, man, I kind of feel kind of bad, or you're like, you know what, that's just the truth and the truth hurts? Like,
Well, I do care, and I care a lot. The truth is I care a lot, and the reason I create content the way I do is because I want to help people. And sometimes in order to help people, you have to hurt them in a way or offend them. And I don't do that. Like I don't fat shame people or anything like that. My mom and my uncle, they were obese. My uncle died when he was 59. He left behind his wife, 3 kids and grandkids because he was obese and he never took care of himself. My mom had breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy. She had both her breasts removed. She was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes because she neglected her health her whole life, you know? And so like I have direct family members, people I love, that have been affected just by living an unhealthy lifestyle. And I don't really want other people to have to go through what I've gone through kind of as, a son, if they don't have to, when no one really has to be obese. It's, in my opinion, it's more or less a choice, because you can choose to be healthy and you can choose to be obese. That's literally how I look at it. And you make that choice every day with your daily habits and your behaviors. And people can say, oh, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. There's so many other different reasons why people are obese. They're conditioned that way. They're brought up that way and all that. But once you cut through all that bullshit, if you cut through all of it, it literally comes down to the food you put in your mouth and how much you move your body. All right. No one forces anyone to eat shit food. No one forces you to sit on your ass all day. Those are choices that you make every day. So that's how I look at it. And I obviously live a very healthy and disciplined lifestyle, and I choose to live that way. And if I didn't want to do that, I would be choosing not to live that way. At the end of the day, everyone chooses to live the way they want. And they can obviously be uneducated or just ignorant. But in today's day and age, I feel like that's not a valid excuse. You can learn literally anything you want, with the internet. It's literally at your fingertips. If you want to learn how to get healthy, you can learn how to get healthy. But you just got to go take the initiative and take action and just go do what you need to do. You need to eat less shit food. You need to move your body. That's how simple it is.
It's so simple. Another thing I like where you touch bases on is I love how you mentioned, just stated the basic fundamentals of exercising. Stop complicating your workouts and just stick to, you can go ahead. Like
I can break down effective exercise in literally 1 minute. You basically just master 6 or 7 foundational movement patterns, and you do those for the rest of your life until you die. All right. And that would just be a squat, a deadlift, a press, an overhead press, a vertical press, or a horizontal press, a horizontal pull, and a vertical pull. And then basically single leg movements like walking upstairs, step ups, lunges. That's like basically 6 movement patterns.
Yeah.
And every effective exercise is just some kind of iteration of those movement patterns. All right. So if you master those basic movement patterns and then you just eat you don't eat like a gluttonous asshole and you eat enough protein, you're going to be a healthy person. And just walk, go for walks. That's all you really need to do.
That's it. And walking's super effective. Like a
Man,
simple 2 mile walks or a 30 minute
there's a
walk.
reason why people say, hey, get 10,000 steps a day. Every fitness trainer is telling people, hey, go get your 10,000 steps a day. The reason fitness trainers tell you that is because it works.
Yeah.
All right. It actually works. That is some of the best, most common knowledge that you can employ. All right.
So,
if you want to lose weight and be healthier, quit sitting on your ass, go for a walk.
yeah.
Take 2 to 3 10-minute walks a day, and that'll be life-changing.
Yeah. No, I get that. I know the answer to this. It's just for people that are listening.
Yeah, ask for sure.
There's no sense of complicating or getting into crazy workouts at the gym, or getting into a intricate workout. It's just those basic fundamentals, what you just mentioned. Stick to that. What would you do? Recommend that for 6 months, a year, 2 years before you get into anything complicated, or
Yeah, basically
just build up.
Minimum 6 months minimum. I still just do basic exercises, and I've been training for over 20 years. So I would say basically stick with the basics forever, and then once you master the basics, if you've mastered the basics, you'll be able to kind of unlock, I guess, more advanced variations of basic movements. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, of course.
you don't overcomplicate things. And I've made content about this, but like the more complicated the exercise, the less effective it is. Okay. So anytime you see trainers training clients, using any kind of apparatuses or fancy contraptions or Bosu balls or just gimmick training, objects, that trainer is an inexperienced trainer, and they're just trying to reinvent the wheel. Maybe because their client, wants something new and shiny and fancy, but they're not actually doing their client, they're not helping their client. They're doing them a disservice by overcomplicating something that doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
Where do you stand on supplements, TRT treatments, steroids, in different categories, obviously, not all in one. And then one more thing,
well,
and you got a crazy 6-pack. You mind showing your 6-pack? Just I know that's random, but
no, I don't mind
your physique. Just so people are like, yeah, like that's fucking insane.
So where do I stand with supplements? I just got signed with a supplement company like last week, but I have to be honest. Supplements, in the hierarchy of what's important, your calories are the most important. Then it's going to be the quality of those calories. That's your macronutrient breakdown. Then basically it's not nutrients, quality of food. So it's calories, then your macros. That's your carbs, fats, and proteins. Then after that, it's quality of food. That's the most important. After that, it's going to be kind of what time you eat, nutrient timing, which really doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter if you eat 1 time a day. It doesn't matter if you eat 12 times a day. It doesn't matter. Your total calories matter more than anything. And then supplements, they'd be at the very top, meaning they're the least important, So they really only account for, you could say, whatever, 2 to 3% of your total progress. Like, you can take all the supplements in the world, but if you're eating shit food and eating too many calories, you're going to gain weight. You're not going to lose weight. So, and then quality sleep is way more important than supplements. And your quality of training is way more important than supplements. If you still want to take supplements, the best supplement you can take is going to be creatine monohydrate, just basic creatine monohydrate. It's been around for 30 years, over 30 years. And really everyone should take that. You should take it. Your mom should take it. Your dad, I take it regularly, and it's good for not only maintaining muscle mass, but it also improves cognitive function. Like, creatine monohydrate is extremely healthy, and all people should actually take that. So that's probably the best supplement to take if you're going to take supplements.
I know they busted this rumor, but there was a rumor that creatine was it kept you bloated, or it retained water. Yeah. I heard that's not true. Correct?
No. Well, it might make you retain water at first, because your muscle cells actually do hold, like they attach more onto, I guess, H2O atoms or whatever. So you do hold on a bit more water initially, but then your body understands what's going on and adapts to it. And then your body sheds that excess water weight. What makes your body hold on to more water than anything is just eating too many carbohydrates. If people just cut down their carbs or cut out their carbs, they would instantly lose 5 or 10 pounds of water weight after like 5 days. So the reason why people walk around bloated and fat all the time is because they're eating too many carbohydrates. That doesn't really have anything to do with creatine. But creatine's like carbs make you hold on to water way more than creatine does. I'll put it that way.
Isn't it interesting that this is the first time in the existence of man, poor people are fat?
Dude.
Like first time ever in the history of humanity.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It really all happened, I guess, like starting kind of in the 1980s. That's why I said the food industry, dude, they're evil, freaking evil. They'll create, the most low quality, cheapest, most addictive foods, and then they're gonna make a profit out of that. And then obviously poor people, they're gonna eat cheaper foods. Yeah. Cheaper foods is low quality, and it's sad. It is sad. But I will say, eating healthy does not have to be expensive. You just need to know what you're doing and kind of be educated. Like, you can eat healthy on a budget for sure. Like, you can eat eggs, you can eat canned tuna, you can eat beef jerky. There's ways to eat healthy on a budget. It's just so many people, especially around the world, they're just uneducated and they don't know any better. And dude, it's a lot easier to eat, a bowl of sugary cereal than it is to go cook yourself up, 2 or 3 whole eggs for breakfast. Does that make sense?
It makes 100%.
People are inherently lazy, and they're conditioned very poorly by mass media and propaganda, and they just don't know any better. And people they eat mindlessly. Nutrition fundamentals should be taught in schools, but it's not. It's honestly, it's a travesty.
Yeah, I was watching a couple interviews where these doctors, these guys became doctors, and they're like, look, in all my education and the universities I went to, they never talked about nutrition, ever. To become a doctor, they've never talked about nutrition and the importance of nutrition, and it's always this, you feel, and you make this point on your post, you feel like shit, you're tired, you don't want to go out, you don't want to do this, you're eating junk food. Where do you blame that? Oh, you're depressed. No, you're not depressed. You're fucking fat. You're obese. You're lazy.
Yeah, and actually, you're feeding foods. You're feeding yourself foods that keep you feeling like shit and depressed.
Yeah,
like that's another thing. And this is could be very polarizing. But I think obesity is a very self-induced disease. I almost consider it a made-up disease because you don't have to be obese. And I almost feel the same way about depression. I'm not going to say that, but I feel like probably 99% of people that are clinically diagnosed as depressed can probably just take control of their lives and rid their own depression just by eating healthier, getting more sunshine, being more active, exercising more. Those are literally, exercise is the best antidepressant. It's the best way to relieve any kind of stress or anxiety. Exercise, and it should be prescribed more. I guarantee if more people just worked out and exercised, there wouldn't be so many depressed people walking around the world.
Yeah, no, and I'll, I haven't been open about this, but like I started really working out in December, and it was 2 reasons. Yeah. One, I just turned 40, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm 40 years old. I got to hit this workout train. And two, I was just going through a very, very stressful time. I had some business that went bad. I was dealing with some people that are just, being complicated. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm losing sleep. I can't do anything. I'm stressing out. I'm always thinking. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let me go to the gym. And I went for the sauna. I was like, let me just go for the fucking sauna just to all right, sauna. Yeah. Let me go for the jacuzzi. All right. Then I started picking up a trainer. And I'm like, all right, this is fucking great. And then I found an app and I found some online stuff like what you offer. I found that stuff and I was like, fuck. And now I'm completely hooked. And it's funny because I just ran into some friends of mine. Sorry for the guys, my friends that I ran from high school, but I was like, these guys were in shape and they were into the gym thing when they were younger. Now I'm seeing them. I'm like, dude, you guys, let it go. And they're like, you know what? We just got tired of working out. And I was like, fuck, I just got started. Like, This is
Dude,
literally the strongest I've ever been in my life. Like I make this
good
joke.
for you, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, man. I make this joke that if I ran into like 27-year-old me, I would fuck him up. Like there's no
Yeah,
chance, So, but
dude, for
it's
sure. You need to look at. I look at exercising like I look at it like sleeping, like eating, like breathing. That's how I look at it. It's just something I do, and I don't even think about. I have to do it. I am 100% addicted to exercise, and it's the best addiction you can have. And it's a fact that many people probably don't even know, but all human behavior is based on getting your next hit of dopamine. Neurotransmitters basically control our minds, and dopamine especially is the biggest one. And you can get those hits of dopamine from a lot of different things. You can get it from doing drugs, drinking alcohol, eating unhealthy food, having sex,
staying up late,
exercising, doing things that you enjoy. And so I prefer to always get my dopamine from intense, vigorous exercise because it's the best and healthiest way to get it. Like there's no free dopamine. You always have to do something to get dopamine. And I'm just very particular about how I get my dopamine. And I encourage as many people as possible to get their dopamine through exercise because that's the best way to get it, man. Like drinking alcohol, doing drugs, that's going to lead you down the wrong path.
Oh, 100%. And back to what we were talking about, obesity and depression. It's like, why would you risk automatically going to medication or depression pills or whatever they give people? Why would people automatically do that and not say, you know what? Just for a month, I'm going to try this fitness thing. Just for a month, I'm going to walk around the neighborhood. Just for the month, I'm going to do 2-3 push-ups because that's what I can do and try to build it up. I'm going to try working out for 1 month, and if it doesn't work, then, I'll do something else. But it's just people default to,
Dude,
and it's fucked up because, but it's fucked up because
inherently.
doctors are saying, I'm sorry, Tanner, but it's fucked up because doctors are literally saying, no, you're depressed.
Let me prescribe you these pills. You know what's the most fucked up thing? One of the most fucked up things about America, all right, is the pharmaceutical companies and commercials. Americans are literally bombarded every day with commercials about popping pills and taking drugs and like, hey, you got this problem? Try this newest fucking pill, that'll help that. Like pharmaceutical companies, they're the worst. Literally, they are the worst.
How many ads every day those ads are running? How many of those ads have you seen in 10 years in Dubai?
None. I don't. But I mean,
it's illegal in other countries, isn't it?
I think it is. I think it is. Like you don't see those things in Dubai, or at least I don't. But I don't watch much television. I only consume basically YouTube, or Netflix, and so those are kind of streaming services. But I don't watch television. But every time I'm back in the United States, which is usually twice a year, I can immediately tell I'm in America because you'll see anywhere on any screen there's going to be some kind of commercial or advertisement about the next latest and greatest prescription pill and drug, and it's just, dude, it's terrible. And again, people are inherently lazy as it is, and people always take the path of least resistance, and it's a way easier to pop a pill and to keep sitting on your ass than to actually go exercise and eat healthy food. But taking that route, you're actually you're screwing yourself if you do that.
Yeah,
but most people, they just don't want to do. They don't know that, or they don't think like that. I don't know why.
Well,
that just doesn't register in their brain.
You got to understand. Well, first of all, where are you originally from?
I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, originally.
Yeah. You got to understand. There is a I don't want to sound tacky, but there is a fucking matrix going on here, and there is a brainwash between the school system, the educational system, television system, what they tell parents, how to raise kids. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Remember the 90s Got Milk commercials?
Yes.
They were pushing that through. And I love milk, don't get me wrong, but you know how many people were lactose intolerant? You know how many people got sick from drinking milk, and they were like, you got to drink milk, calcium. And that was just a big marketing campaign, let alone the intricacies of how a pharmaceutical company goes about pushing their prescriptions, their drugs, Pfizer right now, the vaccines, that's another fucking mess. And people were,
we shouldn't talk about that because that whole COVID thing.
No, no,
That's all
yeah. That's off the grid, but it's just crazy how much stuff they push at all different levels. That it's sad, you know. And they're
It
keeping
really is,
people.
man. Like, I love America. I love America, and I think it's the greatest country in the world. But in some ways, it's the worst country in the world. And greed and capitalism, they've it's man, it's created a lot of problems. You know, it's really created kind of a obesity epidemic, a health epidemic for a lot of people. You know, just because of greed and capitalism, and just media and propaganda. But it's all driven by greed.
Yeah, a little kind of off topic, but still in the same topic. One thing I really liked about Dubai is how family oriented it is. You know, you go to a mall, like when I was at the Mall of Emirates,
Yeah,
it's like, first of all, it's the biggest malls in the world,
yeah,
and
they're huge malls,
half
huge.
of the mall is like dedicated to kids, activities for
Yeah,
kids, aquariums, snow resorts, ski
yeah,
resorts, built snowmen,
yeah, yeah,
clothing
yeah.
stores for kids forever. And it's like I say this as a joke, but it's not really a joke. It's kind of true. It's like in LA especially, and depending what part of LA, but people treat dogs better than kids,
Yeah,
in fucking
dude.
places. You like, and I have kids, and it's just funny. You go somewhere and people are like, "Why would you bring your kid here?" And it's like, "What? Like what?" But you get a dog. It doesn't matter how dirty the dog is. It doesn't matter if it's been licking its asshole the whole day. People are
Yeah,
like, "Oh my god, it's a fucking cute dog." You could bring a dog to a bank. You could bring a dog to, it says no pets allowed, and people bring in their dogs, and it's totally accepted. But kids,
yeah,
it's like you try to find a park, and it's like they're not maintaining the parks good. The parks are dirty. Homelesses are at the park. You're like, oh man, I don't even want to bring my kid to this park, and it's a
yeah.
mess. So I really appreciate how family oriented Dubai and Abu Dhabi are.
No, that's another reason. That's another reason why I also love living here in the United Arab Emirates. It's an incredibly the quality of life here is great. I mean, it is a sand pit. It's a metropolis built in a desert, and the weather is hot as fuck. Like it's 5 or 6 months out of the year, but the other time it's great. Like right now, it's winter time. It's like 70 degrees outside. It's amazing. Um, but the biggest reason it's safe.
So
But
safe.
Dubai or the United Arab Emirates, man, it's such a small country compared to the U.S. That's a huge country with so many more millions of people. Dude, it's a way easier country to actually govern here.
Yeah.
It's not a dictatorship, but it kind of is a dictatorship here. But it works really well. Works really really well. Whereas America, man, America's so big and it's got so many issues that it's really hard. And I kind of feel for you saying that you don't even feel safe or comfortable taking your kids to the park there. And I've been to LA. I've been to a few parts that are pretty dodgy, and yeah, it's not some place that I would probably want to live or try to raise a family, depending on the area. But that's, I mean, just guns for gun control and guns is just that's another issue that I really feel like America needs to address. And I don't want to get started on that, but it's just I feel privileged to live here, and I'm happy here. And I don't have kids, at least not yet. But if I was going to raise a family, I think raising a family here in the UAE would be great.
Yeah. No, it's definitely fucking great. It's like I said, just everywhere you go, it's just so well accommodated for parents to bring their children and children to be
Yeah,
in a safe environment. And
and it's a great place. It's a great place to take a family for a vacation. That's for sure. Again,
yeah,
it's very far from America. Like I'm literally on the other side of the world from you. But
a
I mean,
16-hour flight from LA.
yeah. I mean, that's if that's direct. If you fly Emirates, yeah,
Yeah.
which I almost always fly Emirates, and it is a long flight, but it is a direct flight. So I mean, I could be I could be home tomorrow if I really need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it out
But
there. And
yeah,
then another thing I want to highlight, like how many cool things there is. Like when you go to Abu Dhabi, people don't know there's a Warner Brothers Studios theme
dude,
park
there's
out
all
there.
man.
There's
Honestly,
Ferrari World. There's
yeah,
there's just UFC
you
fights.
know a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
I haven't done. I've lived here for 9 years. I haven't done half the things that I should.
oh,
You
it's
know,
amazing. The first thing
so
I
it's
did was I landed and I rented a car and I started driving everywhere. The new
good.
Louvre. Have you been to the Louvre?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to the Louvre Museum a couple times. my mom and sister are coming to visit me next month. I'm taking them there.
Yeah, the
So
lure's
yeah,
amazing.
it's a lovely place.
Skydiving.
Yeah.
Back to show you where I was at. When I went, the last time I went was in 2018 or 2019. I signed up for the fucking skydiving, and they were like, "No, you're a little fat, buddy. You can't go in." I was like, "Dude, body mass, man. What's wrong with you guys?" They're like, "No, because they do BMI. Is it BMI?
Yeah.
They
I don't know, but BMI is a terrible indicator. Like
It's a
I would probably be
terrible
too heavy.
indicator. Yeah, because
Yeah, it's
I'm looking at
terrible.
people skinnier than me, and I'm like, dude, you are not healthy, man. I can see your
Yeah.
skin or your eyes, I was over like I forgot exactly, but I was over like in weight. I guess it was like 2-3 pounds because of the BMI. They're like, you can't jump, and I was like, fuck. Right now I can jump. You know, if I go
Yeah. Okay.
and I'm
Good.
planning to go there probably May because we have some business out there.
Okay.
But I'm planning to go out there May, and then I got a buddy of mine. He's been out there for 20 years, and he has he does a lot of business out there. So he's like 6 months here now, and then 6 months there.
Dude, sounds like he's got the life, man. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get there.
yeah.
Hopefully one day
Well,
soon.
he's got 10-year advantage on you, so totally
Yeah,
possible. And he's doing it right. When he stays here, he's 6 months in Malibu. Poor guy,
dude.
huh?
Yeah, that's the dream. That is
Yeah,
the dream.
yeah. So
Good for him, man. Yeah, it's you gotta put your time in. You gotta work hard, and hopefully good things will happen. You'll get what you want out of life.
Tanner, thank you, man. I really appreciate having this conversation with you. I really appreciate how quick you were to respond. I appreciate. I mean, I've talked to you just for a little bit, but I love how disciplined you are. I love how you put your priorities. You know, your clients and your timing and your word. And I wish you all the success. Please tell me once again, website where people can find you on Instagram, YouTube.
Sure. Well, again, I'll say this. Thanks so much for reaching out to me, Robert. I mean, it was a privilege, and I'm honored that you'd want me to be on your podcast. So I hope your listeners, they may not be, I guess, help value from listening to this. And if anyone wants to learn more about me, you can check out my website, which is truestrength.co. That's TRUESTRENGTH.co. You can look me up on YouTube at Tanner Shuck. I'm on Instagram, Tanner_Shuck. Those are probably the best ways to find out about my website, YouTube or Instagram, if they want to learn anything about me. And you can contact me, email or Instagram. However, I'm a pretty easy guy to get a hold of. And again, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Tanner, it was a pleasure. I will want to check in with you later down the road, and who knows, maybe we'll meet up soon in the next coming up year.
Yeah, man. If you're ever in Dubai, man, hit me up. We could definitely go meet out, grab a coffee, or at least meet in person.
Actually, and then quick question, since you said coffee, how do you feel about alkaline waters and which is interesting. I'm going to say one more thing. It's interesting because every country I visit, the selections of waters that we have in America are insane. There's like 50,000 types of waters, smart waters and pH waters and alkaline. But when you go to when I go to Dubai or when I go to Cuba or when I go to Russia, there's like not many waters and there's not the whole alkaline.
Man, I'll show you something. I drink my water out of this, man. Like this big ass 5-gallon jug right here.
Shit.
I'm not too particular about, whether my water's alkaline or acidic or not or anything like that. Like I don't get too caught up on that, man. Like I just don't have the bandwidth or the mental bandwidth to be worried about what kind of water I'm drinking, because I work out a lot. So obviously I'm drinking water quite a bit to stay hydrated. And I drink the water here. It works good for me. It keeps me hydrated and I'm still alive. So
that's awesome.
I'll just keep drinking it.
Thank you, Tanner. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
It's my pleasure, Robert. I appreciate you, man. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, man. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks, man.